DuckTales Season 2, Episode 10, The 87-Cent Solution, in which Scrooge goes crazy.
He's just a mad duck with a box.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yet you laugh because it's true.
What I want to know is the gold fever thing. That sounds familiar. Was that in the old Ducks?
I don't know. I think it's. I can look it up, but I think it was reference to like the gold rush.
Ah,
But
And the prospectors and there's also a television series called Gold Fever.
that's probably why.
But yeah, just
Gold Fever definition: a contagious excitement of a gold rush. So yeah, that's what Gold Fever actually initially was.
Glumgold staring down a child for or however long it was while he had time stopped. It was like, that's freaking
That's
cool.
sad, but believable.
It's like 12 months later.
12 months later.
You'll blink.
One of these days you'll blink.
Not the smartest billionaire, is he?
No.
You would see so.
But I mean, it is Scrooge. I mean, not Scrooge. It is Glomgold.
Yeah, but
It's a dumbass.
damn, the battery on that watch.
Right?
Imagine if he'd lost the he'd run out of batteries.
Well, it depends on how it works. Because my theory is that it isn't a continuous thing. It actually is kind of like a remote control where it freezes time and then you have to use the remote again to turn it on. So it's like he hit pause and then he activated again to hit start. So the real problem would be if the batteries died and he didn't have any way of getting new ones and the entire universe was frozen and he couldn't turn it back on.
Just do what I do. Just steal the batteries to the remote and put them in the game controller.
Yeah, problem is that's all dependent on it being
It
the
probably
same kind
works on plutonium, Morty.
So it runs off of trash because he's a cheapskate.
Wasn't it in the science waste? Like,
Yeah, it ran off of garbage.
I mean, no, the watch itself. I don't remember where.
Oh, yeah.
So if it was,
It was
already in the science waste bin.
Yeah, who would throw away?
You want me to put all this waste? I'm not sick. That's not what I said.
Stopper.
Don't be mean to the
Oh,
horse.
Poor Manny. You're alive and you're part horse?
I still need an explanation of where that horse thing came from.
First episode. You remember the headless horseman guy, the ghost, the headless horseman, the ghost, and there was that statue, and it's like, I will not rest until I have Scrooge McDuck's head. And so Scrooge throws him his head.
Yeah, from the statue.
The statue's head. And it's like, I should have been more specific. And then it ended up on the horse. And so the
Okay.
finally got ahead of Scrooge's statue. I want to know where all that color came from because the statue itself was gray. Was that like brownish gray?
Probably the kids did it. Just painted some
Give him
stuff.
some makeup. You have a very nice mortician.
Okay, so I just have to point something out. The showmakers were really clever with this episode, and the fact that it was 87 cents. Because DuckTales came out in 1987.
Yep,
That is clever.
it is.
I like the fact that Scrooge is, to the point where he
He knows exactly how much money is in his bin at any given moment.
and
Of course
he would
does.
miss 87 cents.
I have been robbed! How much did he take? Millions? Billions? 87 cents. Wait, what?
And the fact that Glomgould knew exactly, he knew that would be the thing that would drive him the craziest. It's like, it's not that he took a lot, it's that he took anything. And that drives
Yeah.
him even crazier.
And the funny thing is, it's not that it knows exactly how much was taken. It's the fact that he keeps pennies. Nobody keeps pennies.
I found a bunch of pennies. I found my dad's old cash box. He had a bunch of weed head pennies.
Nobody younger than 40 keeps pennies.
My nephew does. He's 5. He gets paid in pennies.
He doesn't understand the concept of money.
So, still, he's under 40.
Fine, whatever. They're shiny.
Well, it depends on how clean you keep them.
True. Think Scrooge ever washes out his money bin?
He does. Remember, there was that episode where they were talking about cutting back on some charges, and it's like the monthly money washing or whatever it is, and it's like
Yeah.
I may be filthy rich, but I'm not filthy.
I just imagine like the money bin just is a giant washing machine. They just pour water and the walls just start spinning around and going, and then just the water all drains out.
Suggest that to Scrooge. He might go for it.
Only cost him like half his money bin to install it.
Well, I mean, it depends. But it would probably save on the monthly cleaning.
True. And the best part is, his little thing is right on the water, so he can just pump in water from the ocean.
Exactly. Although he would
Yeah,
have to be careful because it's the ocean and salt water oxidizes a lot faster than regular water, and it could erode the metal and do some damage to the coins.
True. Just add like a heating element to evaporate all the water, and just
You still have the salts and the minerals that are what causes the damage.
and just just scoop up all the salt and then sell it to some saltless land.
No, that wouldn't work. Now you're just
I still like my giant washing machine idea.
that in and of itself is a good idea, but how doesn't work so well. Unless they were on like a lake, in which case they could use the lake water.
Well, aren't they basically on a his money bin has a bridge to it, so it goes out into the water a bit, so you could draw water up, filter it.
Yeah, you'd
have
have to filter.
spots at the top that drop the water down. You add your detergents, whatever you're going to use to clean it, and then you let it filter it down, and then you have a, a pipe at the bottom, a drain at the bottom that catches all the water and lets it drain down to that, and it drains down into the sewer system or whatnot.
See, that's more viable of an option than using the straight up seawater.
Wait, I don't even think gold can corrode.
Oh, it
I
doesn't.
mean, it can with a special.
That's the whole point of it's very non-reactive. Like it's
Yeah,
almost you can get it into a solution with certain reactants, I think, but it has to be very, very specific, very specific sort of reactants that will actually react with gold. Other than that, those specific sort of reactants that are designed to do that, you can't.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not all gold in the money bin, as you saw with the
Yeah.
chain, and
Oh,
those would corrode.
Yeah, those could, but
yeah.
Because,
the
trust
gold
me,
coins
I have
probably
it.
won't.
I keep coins in my pockets.
Let's see. You can dissolve gold in aqua regia, which is a mixture of hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid.
Yeah, you need specific. Yeah, you need specific things to get to do it.
Oh no,
It's not. It's just leaving it there. You could throw a bar of gold into a bucket of water, and the water would dry up before the bucket of gold would start to rust or
Yeah.
corrode.
Well, the bucket might rust.
Well, the water would probably evaporate just from vapor pressure. Like it would if
Yeah.
you just leave a glass of water in a room, eventually it will, if bugs and such don't get to it, like just the vapor pressure will eventually dry out the bucket. It'll just take a long time. But anyway,
So, moving on.
yeah.
Figures that he'd have a time travel device.
Of course. I kind of wish Scrooge was the one to have it.
Yeah, but I mean, technically he did to begin with.
Yeah.
True.
And he was just so preoccupied that he's like, I don't care.
The amazing thing is, they didn't turn evil.
No. And Bulby was all like sad during the funeral.
Yeah, well, they learned their lesson not to use a strong watt bulb.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that he knew it was fake, so he was probably under orders to act sad. Like
True.
the only one that didn't know was Donald.
It's like, he's alive. He's alive. I don't.
Alive?
No, I could just. Okay, I'm kind of surprised Donald didn't just come back with like a bunch of luggage to move into Scrooge's house. He's like, "You're alive?"
No, Donald was depressed. His uncle just died.
I know.
He's not the opportunistic type. He actually kind of liked his
He
uncle.
knew that would.
Like somebody who was literally going to dance on his casket.
Yeah. Help me up so I can dance on his casket.
I'm too fat to get up myself.
Don't do that. I am so sorry for him. I feel so bad for her, man.
I do too. And okay, I know it was
So,
staged.
by just how she's too normal, she's gonna turn out to be evil in some way.
Or she's good now, but she's just gonna lose it, and just like You know what? That's it.
No, I
I'm
think
gonna
she's
destroy
got
both of
something
you.
and something cooking. She's too normal. She's too reasonable for this series. She needs something else. She's-
Uh, and I know it was like station stuff, but I gotta say, DuckTales went dark fast. It's like, I won! And Scrooge is dead. Like,
Just wait, bruh. Just wait.
oh, I know it's probably gonna get darker, but cartoons are starting to remind me of the old days where they actually went dark. I'm like, damn.
Right? DuckTales is awesome.
Yeah, maybe people are starting to get a backbone again.
I think their balls grew back finally.
Yeah. Ugh.
I think it's the MCU. It made their balls grow back. Because they're getting some good, substantial storylines now. It's not all fluffy, stuffy shit.
So, I mean, I get their deal was, if I became like whoever has the most money, like, was there like a time limit for that, or
1
did
year.
Uncle just win the second he got more money than Scrooge?
No, it's 1 year.
Okay.
It's next year, that exact time, whoever had the most money won the bet
Okay.
and won the opponent's company.
Okay. So even if Glumgold did have more money at the time, he was kind of too soon to celebrate.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. He doesn't think far enough ahead to be like, oh yeah, I won. Now I have to stay one.
Although technically speaking, it had already been a year. I mean, 12 months later.
True, technically, but I mean, at that point, then he hadn't won the company yet because I mean, he hadn't won because Scrooge's company didn't lose yet.
Damn, that's true.
Because Scrooge's company didn't lose until after the 12 months later. So, I mean, that 12 months later really doesn't do shit.
Except losing an ice staring contest with a baby.
Yes. But I mean, that's just Glomgold for you. Classic Glomgold.
Now, like, I get it, Glumgold got caught for fraud and that stuff, but, do you think the investors that pulled out from Scrooge, got back in?
Well, I mean, it depends, and I'm sure some of them, but then some might actually join up because out of guilt or some other thing. So honestly, it's kind of a free for all because it's just maybe some did, maybe some didn't.
well, the reason they left is they thought Scrooge was crazy, but when they when they see that he's proven out what's real, he's like, okay, they're probably like, oh, okay, well, the investment's still better over here. That was a temporary thing, and he got Glomgold. So I'm just gonna go over here, and the fact that if he's sane now, and the price of the stock is lower because everybody sold, gonna probably be a lot of people who are like, I can get McDuck stock cheap. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be not all of them will reinvest for various reasons. Some might be like, okay, yeah, he did do that in order to call out Longo, but dude faked his own freaking death and traumatized his family just to catch somebody over a 30 chain. So,
Crinkle, 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 crinkle.
I mean, there could be some that are like, I don't want to be with a psycho like that.
Yeah, but he's just crazy enough to be brilliant.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Some people will be like, dude, I wasn't going to invest before, but the stocks are so low, and I mean, that dude, that was a pretty badass move. So I think I'm gonna invest in him. So he might lose some, and he'll gain different investors.
Yeah, and people seeing that, hey, suddenly a lot of people are buying that stock and it's going up. So some people are going to jump on it anyway. Hey, it's going up. I'm going to ride that thing up because it's been traditionally a very stable company. It had a brief episode. Let's deal with it.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be any worse for wear in the long run.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not going to be enough to like tarnish him for
And
life.
especially if he took the advantage of it to buy more of his own stock.
True.
If his stock's going down and he has liquid assets in terms of cash, and he thinks the price is about to go up, buy up as much of his own stock as he can, and then as the price goes back up, you sell off what you don't need, and then you sell it up for a nice tasty profit.
Exactly.
But
Keeps him sharp than the sharp piece. Which, if you overuse them, they aren't all that sharp after a while.
They're not even that sharp to begin with. I've tried stabbing people with them.
Well, I mean, you don't use them for stabbing.
Oh, you don't? Shit, I've been using them wrong.
Yeah, you don't. You use the you use
use
mechanical
fountain pens. Use fountain pens. I think that's the.
pens. Those are nice because then once you stab them, it spews out the back.
Okay, this has gotten decidedly vicious.
And also riding with your enemy's blood, you know?
Oh yeah, that is definitely a plus. You know, once you stab them, you can like fill up your ink pile and you're all good. You just have to make sure you add enough. You make sure it's capped, and you add an anticoagulant ball, like a shake, which is kind of why those some of those markers you have to shake before you use it because it breaks up the coagulation inside. You need to add something to that, like that, to your inkwell to make sure that the blood doesn't just congeal.
Remember, kids, our streams are kid friendly.
Anyway, I think we've probably run the well dry on this one.
Let's
Yeah.
see anything else. I don't think tissue boxes make good shoes.
No, no. Although they make better shoes than some other things.
Scrooge's tongue looks kind of weird, but
They all weird. I mean,
do.
they're pointy.
Yeah.
They have pointy tongues.
At least they don't have teeth on them.
Not on the tongues, no.
Geese are creepy.
Geese have teeth on their tongues.
Yes.
And on that note,
That explains why that hurts so much.